a secret ritual takes place. Their child was baptized in the Christian manner at the cathedral when he was born. Now, 8 days later, he is about to be circumcised according to Jewish tradition. But the ceremony is observed by an uninvited neighbor, Violante Ferrer, an old Christian.
Now, Constanza de Perpignan's baby has a name. His parents will call him Yusei, but beyond these walls he will be known by his Christian name, Pedro de Almazan. In time, the baby named this day will play a role in a defining moment of the Spanish Inquisition. (1478). The monarchs take up residence in the Alcazar of Seville, a palace built by the Moors, the Muslim rulers in the 11th century. Isabella and Ferdinand are the power couple of their day. They dream of one state under one religion, Roman Catholicism. They have a big agenda, to unite their kingdoms in the name of national salvation and to complete the Christian reconquest against the Muslims, who still control the south after 700 years. But there is trouble inside their kingdom. A Dominican priest, Tomás de Torquemada, delivers a warning.
In these kingdoms are many blasphemers, renegades from gods and the saints.
The culprits, says Torquemada, are guilty of Judaizing. They are conversos, the new Christians, who continue to practice their Jewish traditions. He proposes a scheme to root out the heretics, an inquisition. The monarchs agree. Despite the opposition in Aragon from the old Christian nobility and conversos alike, Ferdinand sends 2 inquisitors to Zaragoza, the capital of Aragon. One of them, Pedro Arbues, will become a saint, at least in the eyes of the Church.
Like many Spanish towns, Zaragoza has a large number of conversos. And for the conversos, every ritual in the cycle of life and death will come under scrutiny. They will be charged with heresy if the Inquisition hears that they are Judaizers, who continue to observe the Jewish customs of their ancestors.
The Inquisition files are just filled with data about life cycle events, about how they buried their dead, about issues of female hygiene, of sexual practices, of every imaginable part of people's daily lives.
I think it's very important to make the point that Jews were never the object of the Inquisition's investigations because Jews were not Christian. The Spanish Inquisition dealt only with baptized Christians.
Sinfa Kasavi and her husband, Jacob Abencuca, are denounced as Judaizers by 7 witnesses, people they have lived and worked with all their lives. The identities of their accusers will not be revealed.
¿Cuál es su nombre?
Sinfa Kakabi.
¿Sabe de qué se le acusa?
Yo no he hecho nada, soy inocente.
¿Es usted judía?
Sí, soy judía.
Judía es un delito.
No, no es un delito, soy judía.
¿Dónde está su Dios?
Soy como cualquier otra persona.
But Sinfa has a clever defense. The Inquisition is charged with investigating Christians suspected of heresy. Jews are beyond the Inquisition's reach. They cannot be heretics because to the Church they are infidels, unbelievers.
Es delito. ¿Y su Dios?
When the Inquisitor demands she confess she is a heretic,
¿Dónde está su Dios?
Sinfa insists she is a Jew.
Y es el cristiano.
We are Jewish. We live with Jews and we live as Jews. I was never baptized a Christian.
La ley de Dios, única.
Yo tengo mi Dios.
And my husband is a Jew.
¿Es judío? Eso no es ser Dios. Eso no es ser nada.
Frustrated, the Inquisitor orders that Sinfa be tortured. Torture is sanctioned to obtain confessions as long as it is performed according to the rules set out in the Inquisitor's manual written a century earlier. Sinfa's feet are held to the fire, smeared with pig grease to accelerate her suffering. The crucifix in the Inquisitor's chamber is veiled, a holy procedure to protect Jesus from witnessing what will be done in his name. Under torture, Sinfa reveals exactly what the Inquisitor wants to hear.
Yes, I am a Christian. I was born Christian. My name was Juana, and my father was Juan Gonzalez.
Watching Sinfa's torture is too much for Jacob. The notary dutifully transcribes his words from the transcript of Jacob Abencuca.
Remove her from the torture! My wife speaks the truth! Release her from the torture, Inquisitor! I will speak the truth as well. I am from Seville, of the Kingdom of Castile, and I was born a Christian. I had Jewish friends who were engaged before getting married in the synagogue, and I always dreamed of being able to do it myself. We were then husband and wife, according to the law of Moses.
You just condemned yourselves. Your souls are already lost, and now you will lose your bodies.
Jacob has just sealed his own fate. Sinfa will be spared, for now.
If I had been born Christian, I would have been happy now, and the Inquisition would not be after us.
Sinfa gathers her strength and defiance.
That was the happiest day of my life, and you can't take that away from me.
The Inquisition said to people, you must confess if you are guilty of any kind of Judaizing. You have to confess if you know of someone who may know of someone who is guilty of Judaizing. And if you don't, you're guilty to the extent that they're guilty. And that just tore society apart.
It will become normal for neighbor to spy upon neighbor, for relatives to turn each other in,
Scores of anonymous accusers appear before Inquisitor Pedro Arbuez to denounce friends, relatives, even strangers. Constanza de Perpignan is among the hundreds who are denounced.
There was salted pork lard at the table, and she did not want to eat it.
When there were no maids around, and they asked for wine, they used to bless it the Hebraic way. When the Corpus Christi was raised at Mass, she always turned away from it.
The most damaging testimony comes from Violante Ferrer, Constanza's old Christian neighbor.